Welcome to The Talking Dead. It is December 3rd, 2011. I am Jason.
This is Bob.
This is Paul.
And we have a wonderful show for you tonight. We have a special guest on the line all the way from, originally from Iceland, but you're in Denmark. And you've written the book, Iceland Zombie. Zombie Iceland. I know that's the way it happens. I've been saying it backwards all week. And it's an excellent book. I think every travel book should be written like this. I wish I had it. I wish I had it with me on my last trip to Iceland, because
then you could have done like the book tour.
I could have done the book tour. I could have gone. My wife would have gone, no, we got to go over here and see this. I'm like, no, we have to go to this street. We have to see this.
Yeah. Everybody else is doing like the Da Vinci Code tour and other parts. And you're like, fuck that. I'm going on the Iceland zombie tour.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit about your book and why you wrote it?
My name's Nanna. Yeah, you've already said that before. Yeah. And I am Icelandic by birth, but I spent a lot of my life traveling around and going to international schools, hence why I don't talk like a little elf person. Though I can do the accent, but only at parties. And I wrote the book when I was living, like I said, I moved around a lot, but I spent the last 2 years back home, and I started writing it last November. I started writing it in English because my Icelandic wasn't, I don't know, my Icelandic is good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I could write a novel in Icelandic. And so I started writing it in English, and then I started writing it for my friends who were coming to Iceland, because I thought those are the only people who could be bothered to read a zombie novel about Iceland, is people coming to Iceland. And then I found myself having to explain Icelandic culture and Icelandic history, and like through footnotes. And the reason I went with zombies is because I really fucking love zombies. Can I say fuck on your show?
You just did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. We have no
I have a filthy mouth. I'll probably curse more later. Yeah. So,
everybody, if you're drinking while you're listening, you have to take a shot every time you hear curse.
Yeah. Every time I curse, you'll have to take a drink. And I wrote about zombies because I really fucking love zombies. Who doesn't love zombies?
None of us. But.
So
just kidding.
This is Bob. Sorry, I read your email in one interview that you had on that you linked on your G Plus account about the character Barbara in your book. How close does she parallel your real life? I mean, how deep does the zombie obsession go?
Okay, so basically the book itself takes place at my house, or at my family home. My dad lives there. I live there. My grandma lives on the apartment on the floor above, and anyway, besides the point. So yeah, it's there are some parallels. Also, the whole zombie planning obsessive thing that Barbara, the main character, and her father do. Yeah, me and my dad, we totally do that. And we do have reserves of food and guns and all that kind of weird survivalist stuff. We've definitely done it. It's meant to be a game, and really it's a flexible thing, being prepared for a world event. It could be aliens. It could be a volcanic eruption. It's sort of easy, but yeah, we choose to go the zombie way because it's more fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I don't know if you knew it or not, but about a year or so ago, the CDC in the United States, they released this preparedness guide, and it was kind of tongue in cheek, but it was in the event of zombie apocalypse, and it was their guidelines to mitigate the effects of a disaster. But it was couched in a zombie apocalypse.
It actually crashed their website.
Oh,
it was
really?
so popular, yeah.
Did it? I didn't know that. I had heard about it though, and I think it's true. You know, it's pretty smart to be prepared to have a bug out bag. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Like, you know, you get in a car, you wear the seatbelt, you don't think you're going to get into an accident, but it's good to be ready.
Well, we come from the home of fallout shelters, so yeah.
You know, my dad and we were looking at online bunkers one time. You can get some pretty snazzy ones.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes. Yeah. And there are lots of sites that will give you like all the good gas masks and even the infant carrier crates to filter air and all sorts of stuff. If you're that paranoid and neurotic, which I am. So.
Yeah.
And you have it all.
I did, yeah. No, my gas masks are all the cheap Russian ones on eBay.
I heard about like some community in Canada where like a whole village or town or whatever got together and they buried like 50 school buses, disused school buses, into the ground to work as bunkers for like this village, which I thought was really cool.
Wow. That's kind of like Mad Max.
So like 300 years from now, somebody's going to be like, oh, what's this crate? Let me go down here, and they'll find like this network of underground school buses. It'll be a trip.
That'd be awesome.
Nice time capsule.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's go.
What, for the apocalypse or?
Yeah. No, I'm sadly unprepared for the apocalypse.
Yeah, you've had a couple trial runs and they haven't worked out too well.
I don't know if you had read about in Norfolk. It actually made national news. It was last year and this year. This one local person, she organized this zombie run, and it was like this game of zombie tag.
Yeah.
And it blew up. She thought like maybe like 75 people would play, and it wound up being like 1,500 in this small town in Virginia. And so 2 times. The first time I lasted 3 minutes, and then this past year I was done in like 58 seconds.
What?
Yeah. Apparently I'm the cannon fodder. Sad but true.
You saved the rest of the people, though. You sacrificed.
It's noble, Bob.
I swore. I was like, I have to do better than 3 minutes. I mean, how could I do worse? And yet I did.
That's the way.
There's always next year.
Yeah, we can't all survive.
Obviously not.
That's the worst part about any like post-apocalyptic fantasy story, because you always picture yourself. And then, like, I get out of the shower and I'm in the mirror and I'm like, "There's no fucking way. I'm not gonna be the guy. I'm not out there doing crunches in the morning." Yeah.
Well, that was interesting about one of your characters in the book is, like yourself, you prepared. It was kind of a game with the dad in the book, and got to the point where the character would actually go out for runs just so they could make sure they could actually run long distances without being winded.
But you know what? This is how the book started. I was running to prepare myself for the zombie apocalypse.
Wow.
I was on a run, and I was at this point in the run, right, where I just kind of wanted to lay down and die. And I just thought, I'll just lie down, and then I'll use my mad Jedi powers to get the ice creams, to like float to me, and then they can feed me on the pavement. But I was like, no, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. And then I started pretending that there were zombies behind me just to keep my motivation up, And, I mean, and then I thought, because I was running on Ísland, which is right by my house. It's a long beach road that kind of hugs the coast around Reykjavik. And, yeah.
Is that the same path out in front of?
This is so picturesque. Imagine if there were zombies everywhere, and then it kind of, it was meant to be a short story, but then it kind of just spiraled out of control, and the short story starts off like the first chapter where Barbara's running away from zombies. Except she's really tough and she can totally do it, whereas I just basically wanted to die. But that's what's so great about being able to write up characters. You know, Barbara's everything I wish I was and everything I wish I was capable of, but I'm pretty sure that I would die in 3 minutes. Almost certainly. For all my preparation, I'm pretty sure that I would be amongst the first wave of deaths.
When you were writing the book, did you reenact any of the parts just so you could get a feel of how you should write it? Like when you walk into a supermarket or something, did you see what clerks and what managers and would actually go and how they would, or did you just sit in your room and actually have it all in your head?
Well, I had the added bonus of like that supermarket that's in the book, Merlapuden. It's on the corner right from my house. I've been going there my entire life, so it's kind of, and there just are certain characters that you see in Iceland, certain types of people who work behind the till, and although I was holed up a lot. I tend to be an inside person as a rule. I'm kind of so about going outside. Yeah. But not that I'm like one of those weirdos who's afraid of it. Not that it's weird to be afraid of going outside.
You're agoraphobic.
It's weird. It's a phobia. Oh no, I've insulted someone. But generally speaking, I tend to stay inside.
Yeah. We could go out, but man, that couch is comfortable.
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you shouldn't feel bad, because the only reason I started doing podcast is so I wouldn't actually have to go out in the world and meet real people.
Yeah.
I could do it right here.
Yeah. It's the same with writing. Essentially, you're just like, I could go, skydiving, or I could watch Total Recall and write about zombies.
There you go. I applaud that. And speaking of Total Recall, I like how you tip the hat to a lot of, the zombies genre and other horror films in the book. I mean,
oh yeah,
Evil Dead got a plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy. But this is my father's influence entirely. And also so many of like the homemade zombie movies, or like these really like amateur college zombie movies that we've watched, will have main characters called Raimi or Carpenter, or just to. So it's kind of already done in horror films, I guess. But yeah, I love doing that in the book. I love dropping hints, and I can always, I judge people by whether they point it out as well. And be like, oh yes.
You know how deep they are if they pick it up.
They know their zombie history if they can tell me who Victor Halpern is. If they're like, oh yeah, the American Tourist name is Victor Halpern, wasn't that the director of White Zombie? I'll go, I can be friends with you.
Awesome.
He's like, Victor who? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't
I'll
he
be like,
in House of Wax?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Maybe not you. No, I sound really horrible. No, I'll be friends with anyone, honestly.
No.
I was
That's
so
what we're
totally
gonna put for the blurb on the episode.
Yeah. She hates it.
Take the test to see if you could be Nanna's friend.
We should totally do that and give away a book for the people who.
That would be great.
That's right. Dig out like 10 zombie references from the book, and we'll send you a copy.
Yeah, I could go for that for sure.
Well, I'll be emailing you later.
Well, I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun read, and I liked it for those veiled references. That was great. But I gotta tell you, you did something in there, and I think I might have even learned something along the way. You totally tricked me.
Okay.
I read the book and I learned something. I was really upset about it.
No, damn.
It was great.
What did you learn?
Oh, I love the I'm joking, of course, but I loved all of the footnotes about the information about Iceland, and I was like, wow, this is the best travel guide I have ever read.
It really is. I love it because I'm obsessed with Iceland, but even outside of that aspect, the fact that I could read something and then know the history behind it without having to go to Google and just to learn about it, and it was there. It brought me more into the story. It made me feel like that I was a part of that town, or of that situation.
Well, and you want to start making your own traditional sweater with the big open hole in the yoke.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you like to knit?
Yep, I totally looked that up though. I was like, "What is this?" And I had to Google that. What does this look like? And I was like, "Damn it! I learned something again."
You had to come over because Miley's obsessed with them. She bought several while we were there.
Yeah, I'm not as heady. I liked the picture of the zombie with the penis drip on page 118.
Oh, that
and the girl
is
eating her hand.
That's a great one.
Well, so who did the art?
Hugleikur Dagsson. His name is Hugleikur Dagsson. That's how I would pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
His name translated into English is Mind Game, which I've always thought was very amusing. Mind Game, Son of the Day. That's his name.
Wow.
Awesome. That's why I love Iceland.
See, you know what this reminds me of? Remember in the movie Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
When Bruce Willis gets into the cab and she's like, "What's your name?" And he says, like, I don't know, I can't remember what this character's name is. What was it?
Butch? Was it Butch?
He was Butch, but she was Maria Villalobos.
Right, yeah, right. Okay, he says Butch, and the taxi cab driver says, "Oh, what does that mean?" And he goes like, "This is America, honey. Names don't mean shit." And I was just like, yeah, we got nothing.
Well,
See the shining.
We have a lot of
sea
pride
and
here.
no, yeah. The other thing I really liked about this, which I've never seen on a book before, are the I like that this has a playlist.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Playlist.
Yeah.
That is pretty fucking brilliant.
And I love that it's all Icelandic bands and individuals who.
That was another sort of sad preparation for the zombie apocalypse thing that my dad and I had, was having proper music, and then putting together a zombie playlist, which I did like years and years ago. And so I stole all those kind of zombie preparation things from my own life and threw them at Barbara. And I was, and as I was writing the book, I was using the songs to kind of inspiration or whatever to help the flow. And originally they weren't all Icelandic songs. I mean, I hadn't planned to include them in the book at all, but I just used my old zombie playlist. And then I was having coffee with my friend, and I was telling him about this playlist, and I was like, but the book's so Icelandic, it'd be weird to have non-Icelandic music in there. And he's like, so just include all the Icelandic bands that you like, or do you think that would fit in, and then see where it goes? And that was totally genius, because it complements the whole travel guide thing. Because Icelandic music is so, I don't know, I don't want to say happening because that's weird, but there's
but it is, yeah, I mean.
But Icelanders, they make a lot of music,
yeah.
And they don't make bad music. They make really good music. So I felt, that kind of made sense. And then Gogo Yoko, which is an Icelandic website where you can just, is it like Spotify? Do you guys have Spotify?
Yeah.
An Icelandic Spotify, where Icelandic musicians can put on their CDs, and they kind of cut out the middlemen, and the artists get all the profits, and you can listen to the music, and then you can decide whether you buy it or not. You can just listen to it all the time for free if you want.
And it's all Icelandic artists?
Sorry?
It's all Icelandic artists?
No, they've extended it, so it's, I think pretty much anyone can, but it's an Icelandic website, and it started off as Icelandic musicians, as far as I know, and that's, at least if you are an Icelandic musician, you will find like you will find Icelandic musicians' music on there. There's just it's a natural place to go. Yeah. I think.
And it's go
So
Yoko.
they seemed really psyched to be a part of it. Originally, I thought, oh, we'll make a mix CD and then like put it in the book jacket. And Hugleikur Dagsson, the guy who is the illustrator, he also is my publisher. In Iceland, you never have one job. You're never just a musician or just an illustrator or just a writer. You're like a vet or a doctor.
Oh, right.
Also a vet.
You're like 5 different things at one time. And he was my publisher. He was like, fuck. Who even buys CDs anymore? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, when was the last time you bought one? I couldn't remember. So we just went with Go Yoko, and they said, hey, if you put your playlist online, we can use QR codes to direct them to the songs. So we put little QR codes at the beginning of every chapter. So people with a smartphone or whatever, they can scan in the code and listen to it while they read. Or they can just go directly on Go Yoko and listen to the whole thing online themselves.
It's awesome. I love the playlist on it.
Oh, that's good. You didn't like. Some people have told me the playlist really sucks. It's really
well. I like it that it's a part of something bigger than just. I mean, I'm always on the lookout for Icelandic music, but I like that the playlist and the bands are a part of something bigger, with the book. So when I'm reading it and I can listen to it while I'm reading the chapter, it kind of adds that extra element. The same way that the footnotes, that give you the history or what's going on and why this is called that. It just adds to a bigger story. It becomes.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad it had that effect.
Yeah.
That was definitely what I was going for. Like if you're watching a film, for example, what would a film be without music?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same with a book. Obviously, you don't need to listen to music when you read a book, but it's just another sense, kind of.
No, I like the idea. I remember when I was just out of high school, I think I read Interview with a Vampire for the first time. And I still remember, there's a scene in it where they're talking about the first transformation of the main guy, Louis. And I remember exactly what song was playing when I read it. And, I had it looped on, and it was the Center Bullet from Skinny Puppy's Bites album, the instrumental, the one that's like 9 minutes long. And that one's kind of dreamy for them. And every time I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, he's like in the forest. And so it's really cool to have, a specific set of sounds for a book.
Yeah.
I like it. A soundtrack for a book is a good idea. I like it a lot.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. You guys are being really nice to me. It makes me very uncomfortable to receive compliments.
All right, we can switch
when
it right
we lost
now.
the call, we were awful. We were just like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's hard not to be nice. I really liked the book. I really enjoyed reading it.
It was definitely one of the best zombie stories that I've read in a long time. And believe me, I get a lot of zombie books.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, who was your favorite character? Can I ask?
Well, obviously Barbara, because one, I just love that you put in there "They're coming to get you, Barbara." That like made my day. And I mean, but she's like such a strong, tragic character, and then her relationship with that fast relationship with, what was her name, Helen.
Helen.
I mean, I didn't really see that coming, but I guess in retrospect, I should have.
Yeah,
well, they handed
I
out
do put people off by the fact that all the dudes have a total boner for Barbara.
Yeah, well, it did throw me off. I was like, what?
And they handed out to it when she came out. Oh wait, I don't want to give away the story, but
but I really really liked it, and I liked that I liked the structure. I thought that the structure was really good. With opens up with her running, and then it flashes back to what was going on in the house, and like I said, all those little veiled hints. Just as I was reading it, it was like a tour of zombie movies in general, just in a very sly and subtle way. And one of the things that you did that I liked the most was the few pages that you spent on the Facebook post.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was a really great idea because I mean, like, cause, you know, it's like we sit around and be like, you know, what would happen? Well, I would run, I'd get guns. I'm like, well, what would Facebook do?
Yeah. And now we know. And I like how not just. Well, I don't want to give too much away because I want people to read it and be surprised by it. But I love the detail that was into that section. It was really good.
And I actually put a bunch of my friends in there for funsies.
Oh, right on.
So, yeah, like a couple of my friends. The guy who recommended the Icelandic playlist, Matti, he's in there. He's in the airport being mauled by, or, you know, hunted down by zombies. Yeah, actually, the Facebook chapter idea actually came from my editor. He was like, you know what I'm thinking when I'm reading this? What the fuck's happening on Facebook? And I was like, oh, yeah, Facebook chapter. That would make it so much better.
Yeah.
And, it's gotten a lot of compliments.
It worked. I was surprised by it.
To write. Because I felt I was just kind of flipping through like Lame Book. I thought, oh my god, I could just make it like Lame Book, but in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, people will be douchebags even during the zombie apocalypse, apparently.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think as soon as the zombie apocalypse happens, all bets are off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. This is gonna sound totally lame, but have you guys ever read Persepolis?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah. The woman who wrote Persepolis. She once said something that in an interview that completely resonated with me. She's like, civilization, this is the biggest myth of all time. If you were to remove civilization, give it 2 weeks, people are eating corpses on the street. And I was like, oh. Yeah. But you know, I kind of totally buy into that. And I'm always having arguments with my best friend. She's total humanist, and she's one of the smartest people I've ever met. But whenever we talk about this, she's like, no, people wouldn't descend into anarchy. People would have the decency to be kind. I was like, no, they wouldn't. No. I'm gonna be prepared, and it's a good thing you're my friend. Although, of course, like I said, I would die within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she'd be really fucked. Oh well. Yeah. Bye.
As long as she knew where your stockpiles were, though.
Yeah.
She could apply her humanistic knowledge.
Like, Nanna, everybody's going to come to our house when the zombie apocalypse
Yeah, now everybody knows you've put it out there.
And your street address, too.
It's like, everybody knows where we live.
I've already broke out Google Maps.
Yeah.
And applied it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the grocery store. We've got to be closed.
We know the aisles are closed, so don't bring in a big basket. Just
You know what? They are. It's the tiniest supermarket of all time.
It's awesome.
It's so tiny. You bump into people like constantly. Yeah. But it's charming. It's very charming. I love that.
So supermarket. It's not like Bonus.
No. Oh, God, what a dump. What a dump. Ugh, don't go to Bonus. If you're gonna go anywhere, if you're gonna go to a cheap supermarket in Iceland, I'm busting out my travel tips. If you want to go to a cheap supermarket in Iceland, go to Krónan. The Crown. Krónan.
You know what? We did not go. We went to Bonus once, and it was in Reykjavik. There's a vegetarian restaurant diagonal from it.
Right.
And that's the one we went to. And Miley was just happy because we have to carry all of our baskets here in the States, and the fact that the hand baskets are on wheels and have an extension. She loved that. She just ran around the.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah,
I love
country great.
It's really clever.
Wheels on baskets.
I know.
Well, not everybody needs to do.
And they have geothermal heat.
I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, the hot tubs are amazing.
Oh yeah.
And we did mud baths, hot tubs, everything. Sorry, but that's.
It's so good.
So awesome.
I'm living
in Copenhagen right now, and a friend of mine just tried to sell me on joining a spa. And I was like, a spa? What does that involve? She's like, oh, there's 2 hot tubs and a sauna and a steam bath. And I'm like, that's like the pool next door to my house. It costs $2 to get in, maybe. And she's like, oh, but this spa, it's only $80 a month. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'd never pay $80 for a sauna, not in a million years. Yeah. Ridiculous.
That's funny.
yeah.
One of the characters, or they're not necessarily the characters, but one of the things that still sticks in my head from the book are the children. After, I don't want to say too much, but I love that segment because
who doesn't love zombie kids?
I know.
They're the best.
Well,
and
really, you can throw kids into any horrific scenario, and they're the scariest of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost kids, zombie kids.
Yeah, if you want to sell me on a zombie movie, you're like, hey, zombie movie, and I might be like, yeah, zombie kids, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And my house is actually down the street from a school. I mean, all these places are actually, it's a real area. And it's not 101 Reykjavik, but there are more places to go than 101 Reykjavik.
Yeah.
107 is super cool.
What does that mean? I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, like,
So
I know 101 Reykjavik from a movie.
Yeah. So 101 Reykjavik refers to the postal code, the area code. Not really. It's a postcode.
Okay.
This they have in the States. They have postcodes.
Like
yes.
the zip code here.
Zip code.
Yeah.
Zip code. Yeah, it's like a zip code. So 101 is the very, very central. It's the center of town.
Okay.
And then as you go further out, you have 102, 107. Which is where I live. And it sounds like it's really far away, but Reykjavik is so small, like it's a 10-minute walk from the city center.
Wow.
So do you have like
it's a great area.
Do you like have like a 107 gang sign or something?
What?
107
no.
Represent.
Hardcore.
I don't know. No.
Because they do that here.
We have an ice cream store. That's what we have, and a pool.
That's all you need.
No gangs.
We have gangs outside of our ice cream stores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might catch the occasional kid loitering outside of a corner shop.
Wow.
That's it.
Damn lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really. It's pretty hard to be ghetto in Iceland, I gotta say. Things like universal health care, free university. Oh, hard knocks. No, it doesn't really work.
Midnight Sun. What?
Yeah, real. Actually,
Represent light for 24 hours, son.
In the summer.
What's that?
Crime significantly decreases in the summer.
Really?
Because of Midnight Sun.
Oh, right. It's kind of hard to sneak around.
Yeah. It's not exactly like you're hidden by a cloak of darkness.
Wow.
Take that, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's after reading the book, and hearing Jason talk about Iceland and reading the book, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go.
Dude, we were talking about this last night. I was watching House Hunters International on HGTV, and usually every show is about the Dominican Republic, or they're like, we chose St. Bart's as our new, and it's always the Caribbean. And the next one was Iceland, and I was like, oh, there are clouds. It's like, for once, there wasn't a palm tree on this show. And I have to say, I only saw 3 condos or apartments in Iceland, but the bathrooms are much hotter looking than the ones in Italy. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but they always put like these tanks up in the wall, and there's like, tile everywhere. And then they showed the ones in Iceland, and it was like, everything was like shin high, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's just like minimalistic furniture. It was beautiful.
Well, we spend a lot of time inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, yeah.
So it has to. So the bathrooms sort of have to be nice.
But there were no area rugs. That's what I noticed. I was like, wouldn't your feet get cold?
Well, that kind of depends. I mean, you can have heating underneath your floorboards.
Okay, so a lot of people have. Oh, I can't believe the topic is gone. I always derail all of our topics, but it's like the inboard like wire heating. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, at least we have that at my house. I'm not saying everybody does, but at our house we have geothermal heating. It's also cheap. We got hot water under the floors. I
don't know because I live in a small apartment and my heat comes to like $150 a month. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, sucks to be you.
Yeah, and I can't afford to finish school, so it's kind of.
So anyway,
and I'm also paying off a stay at the hospital from 2 years ago still. So yeah.
Yeah,
Represent.
but in turn we do pay taxes. So.
But I would be willing to pay more taxes for free education, free healthcare.
Yeah, I think most people. Well, I mean, I'm of course from here, so of course I've been brainwashed into thinking that of course you shouldn't have to pay to go to the fucking hospital. That's ridiculous. Yeah. You shouldn't have to. Educating people is better for the economy overall. But I mean, this is again. I need to stop. You're going to see my inner socialists shine through.
Have you not seen my anarchist podcast?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You do have that. And an atheist podcast now.
Yep.
What? Like that.
So
like
what you say is safe here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Yeah. But you know what? The thing is that I live in Denmark now, and we have really high taxes here. I pay like 49% tax, roughly.
Very high.
Wow.
And that's not even the highest. So if you make more money than I do, it's like 60%.
Wow.
But I make it. The wages are higher to offset it. So you don't live in squalor.
So you don't feel like you're suffering because of it.
No, certainly not. And also, what helps is that I see where the money goes.
Yeah.
We don't have potholes, for example, and I can take, public transportation for very cheap. Not that I do. I bicycle everywhere because I don't have a driver's license. Loser. And, I see kids, going to daycare that's basically almost free so that, women can work. And I see kids going to school, and I can see myself going to the doctor, and I know that when I have kids, they'll have free dental care, until they're 18. And suddenly, okay, I pay a lot of taxes seems totally doable because you can see where the money goes. I think when you can't see it, when it goes to question mark, like I don't know where American taxes go to because I haven't really looked into it.
Oh, we don't know either.
We don't know, yeah.
But, this is what I hear from my sister. She lives in America. And she's like, I don't even know where this money goes. So no wonder, people are pissed off at it.
Yeah.
If they saw it.
You can look around and see where the money goes. I mean, we do have there's huge infrastructure in the U.S. And we have a massive military system,
right?
Especially in this town,
right? I mean, you look around. I mean, we have battleships and jet planes. Come on, neither of which are cheap.
Yeah, I live in the fly zone, and the jets make U-turns right over my apartment complex, and sometimes we'll go a few days without it, and then sometimes it'll be a jet about every 20 seconds for about 16 hours or so.
And you think that's cheap?
Yeah, that's expensive. That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah.
But the politics,
freedom isn't free, Jason.
I know. we can talk about that in another show.
Yeah, all right. We've totally derailed this book.
The question that I want to ask is, what is next for the story, and will there be necropants?
Okay.
I was just thinking you would steal necropants during the... It's okay. Sorry,
I was just wondering when it would come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I feel really bad about not including necropants now. I wasn't sure how I would work it into the story, though, because the necropants are located nowhere near my hood. I will have to find some kind of way to include them eventually. I'm actually writing another novel now. It's not a zombie novel. It's a ghost story. And I'm fairly certain I can work necropants into that. Awesome. I haven't, okay, so the book ended. The way that I ended the book, I thought it was perfect. I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. Because I struggled so much with it. Because, how do you end a zombie story? Either everybody turns into a zombie and dies. Or, you kind of, one or two people survive and it's a beautiful thing and whatever. But I was really torn, and I didn't know how to end it. So it kind of, spoiler for readers, it kind of ends ambiguously. But I thought it had a lot of closure to it. My dad liked it. This is where I go. This is my go-to. This is terrible. I feel awful. A woman my age should not care. But a lot of people that I've spoken to are like, how does it end? What happens next? And I suppose I could pick it up, but I hadn't thought of it. Yeah. It hadn't occurred to me until people went, okay, all right, we get it. You're trying to be cool with an ambiguous ending. Tell me more. And I was like, I don't really know.
We're just greedy readers, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it was all a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not that.
Exactly.
I think that I like the idea of how it ended. I thought it was perfect. And not only was there the ending of Barbara's story, but then there was the coda with the ice cream shop at the end. And,
right.
And that really just sort of set the tone. And you're right. Every zombie story, it's either like everybody dies or they're on an island somewhere and you don't know who lives or dies, right? So I thought that ending was great. And it's one of those things like I've heard some other writers talk. And like when they write a story like that, like they're done. They've told the story they want to tell, and now you want to move on and tell other stories. And
right.
And so those characters are finished, but I'd be interested to hear what the ghost story is. And I think that writing another story about Barbara and her merry band of misfits, that would just be like going to the well once too often.
Right.
Like, sure, I'd like to know, but I can make it up in my head. I can think about it. But what I'd really be interested in now is the ghost story next, because I really love the zombie story, and that's done. Move on.
And if you can't put the Negro pants in the next story, they moved in the week that we left Iceland. Is the penis museum has finally made it back to Reykjavik, so you can add that.
Yeah, the penis museum.
I really want milestones.
we went in. We went to the original location, and they were moving, but they had their front door open, and we didn't know they were moving. And we walk in and start looking around and stuff. They're like, "What are you doing? We're closed. Get out."
So you got kicked out of the penis
museum.
We got
kicked out.
Wow, you got shafted.
Yes.
Boom, doom.
Yeah. Yeah, the penis museum. I really want to go, but I haven't been. As for the ghost story, I haven't written much. I've only written 2 chapters of it so far, because I have this stupid day job. No, I love my job. I take it back. I have a great job. But I've only written 2 chapters, but it's a lot of research because basically it's about a family of. This is gonna sound okay. I'm just gonna tell you. You guys want to hear it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's about a family of women, and the reason why it's only women is because the boys in the family keep dying, and this goes back 100 years or something. So, I mean, you know, it's cliche to say the family's cursed, but yeah. And the matriarch of the family, the grandmother's died, and it's about this girl who's, coming home to go attend the funeral with, her mother and her sisters and cousins and stuff like that, all women. And it's about this kind of weird, just family drama / ghost shit. Okay, this is the fun part. So when I was growing up in Iceland, people always talk about the elves, right? And like, oh, Icelanders believe in elves. And, people kind of, in Iceland, you kind of play along with it. You're kind of like, yeah, elves. You respect it. You respect, if somebody says, oh, this is where the Hultefolk live, if this is where the elves are reported to have lived, you don't fuck around with it. You'll build around it. You won't go anywhere near it. You don't believe in it, but you kind of just go with the flow. Maybe some people do believe in it. But what Icelanders definitely believe in, or at least what I've, in my history, come across, is that Icelanders definitely believe in ghosts. Even in just like casual conversation, I was talking to a girl who was complaining that her daughter was haunted, and I was like, she's haunted. She's like, oh, she has these terrible nightmares, and she wakes up and she's looking at things that aren't there. And I'm like, there's like scientific explanation for this. It's she just has the mara, it's as it's called in Iceland, the nightmares. When you sleep and then you wake up and you feel like there's something pressing on your chest or something.
It's called hypnagogia.
Anyway, there's a scientific explanation for this. I'm sure of it.
Hypnagogia.
It's also an ambient podcast.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
That's what it's called, hypnagogia.
Yes, exactly. And but she's like, no, hands down, she's haunted. It's these are ghosts. You know, she has the sixth sense. And I remember when I was younger, my grandmother, she had the sixth sense, and you know, everybody could, you know, people could speak to ghosts, and the line between, you know, dead and alive is very ambiguous in Iceland. So I've been researching ghost stories. There's so many ghost stories to kind of feed into this story and this girl who's then haunted by her dead grandmother, and half of the book is seen through her eyes, and the other half of the book is seen through the eyes of the dead boys who are born into the family and how they die. So they kind of describe how they die and how they haunt the female members of the family throughout. And then you start with the oldest story, so the first boy who was left out, as it's called in Iceland, and old Iceland, if a child was born that was very sick or was the product of rape or incest or whatever, they would be left out in the snow to die after they were born. It's very sad. It's a very dark part of Icelandic history. And so the first boy, he dies like that, and then he's he sort of tells how he died from his point of view, and then the next will be the next generation of boys who say how they die, and then it kind of, in the end, you catch up with the most recent boy to have died. I've probably said too much.
No,
it sounds great. It sounds really interesting. I mean,
are you going to try to do it like another tourist guide, or is this going to just be straight up?
I think it might be straight up, but I'm thinking, because I'm taking so many Icelandic ghost stories from like actual ghost stories and weaving them into the book, I might have like something at the end sort of explaining the origins of the ghost stories or something like that. Yeah, which I think could be interesting.
I'm very excited about it.
Instead of Iceland travel, it sounds a bit more like Iceland history, so you could weave that. Does the current family, is it in modern times, or is it set?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the current family is in modern times. Yeah, Iceland's got a lot of really great ghost stories.
Yes, I only bought 2 books in Iceland when I was there, and they were both related to folklore and ghost.
Oh yeah,
they're fascinating. So.
I've got a favorite Icelandic ghost story about this drunk guy. This guy, he's been abroad. So this is like 100 years ago or something. This guy's been abroad.
Can you hold the flashlight under your head, on your chin? Dim the lights and hold the flashlight while you tell the ghost story.
No, right? Yeah, I should do that for I just can't be bothered to stand up, to be perfectly honest. I'm too lazy.
All right, well, I'm sorry. Go with it.
No. So this man, he's been abroad. He's been in France, and he's been learning French. And he comes back home, and him and his friends, they go out to celebrate, his homecoming. And the 3 of them, him and his 2 friends, they get completely shit-faced. Absolutely motherlessly drunk. And then eventually they go home and they part ways. And the next day they realize that this French guy, or this guy who had been to France, this Icelandic guy who had been to France, they found his corpse. So he had died of exposure, which is very sad. But then for months afterwards, neighboring farms reported hearing drunken French drinking songs being sung constantly. So he haunted the neighborhood with his drunken singing for months. And this has been documented. This is what's so great about it, is that, this has been written down somewhere. It says, in this particular neighborhood in Skagafjörður, random town. Reports were of a haunting of a drunken French singing constantly for like 3 months, and they investigated and they found the story. And
maybe he moved in next to us because
not true. It's just great, just the idea that some guy's so drunk that he just starts. He just stays drunk forever.
Yeah. What's that?
I said I wish we would have. I used to work on a show called A Haunting that was on out of. They're probably global, but here it's called the Discovery Channel, and it was.
Yeah, I know the Discovery Channel.
Okay, well, I don't leave the country much, so I have no idea what. But I guess we kind of force all our exports everywhere. Come
on, it's great. Star Wars milkshakes. I'm on board.
But yeah, so I did sound effects for this show about ghosts, and that would have been an awesome.
That would have been one.
Yeah, a drunken Icelandic guy singing in French.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to be for Halloween next year.
Yeah. That's going to be a long explanation.
Yeah.
Just go download our podcast.
That was one thing. That's the only thing about Iceland that made me sad, because I went to Iceland this past October, and I was so excited before I did the research that I was like, they're going to have all this Halloween, all of this, Yeah, don't celebrate.
No. No, we have like a bastardized version of Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Where kids dress up and pin bags of ash on one another.
Yep.
And then the idea was sometimes it actually became a cultural thing as well. So you dress up in, various costumes, and you try to pin the bags without someone noticing. And then if you were a boy who was crushing on a girl, you would, try to pin a bag on them. I'm fairly certain that's not what the Catholics had in mind,
Right. Wow.
Ash Wednesday dating, Before OK Cupid came, Ash Wednesday in Iceland. But yeah, and then we eat loads and loads of pastries, and we beat barrels that used to have cats in them, but now have candy.
Wow.
It's like an Icelandic piñata, but it's really boring because it's not colorful. It's just a barrel.
Right, but originally it was filled with cats.
It's called hitting cats in a barrel.
Wow. Well, we have the expression shooting fish in a barrel, so maybe there's some correlation between the two.
Well, I think the cat one, where a bunch of children beat a barrel, is far more disgusting, at least.
Yeah. So they decided to make that into a tradition.
Yeah, well, we were called barbarians for a reason.
Right. Wow. That sounds great. I love the sound of that. Let's do it again.
But they have the lads now, so it's all good.
Those fucking lads, they're so creepy.
I love them.
I loved them when I was younger, but when I really think about it, the first one, Sheep Cod Claude, he molests sheep. I mean, if you read between the lines, that's essentially what's happening.
Yeah, and that's what makes them so awesome, because they're these little guys that either sneak into your home before, like, it's around the Christmas season, the whole and they sneak in your home, slam your doors, lick your pots, do all types of stuff.
And lick your spoons.
Yeah, the spoon licker.
Awesome.
And then there's...
What was the one that was in the book, like Meat Hook?
Yeah.
Was that the one that was... Is that the one that was in the book, Meat Hook?
Yes.
Like, I was like, is this an elf or like a Cenobite from Hellraiser? I couldn't tell.
Easily the scariest of all of them. He's totally the scariest.
The mother, I think, is pretty awesome because she carries a bag full of children.
Yeah.
She's like Krampus, but not.
Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome.
I also, actually, the Christmas cat is pretty terrifying as well.
I don't know much about the Christmas cat. I know about all the others. I don't know much about the Christmas cat.
Well, the Christmas cat is Grilla. That's the mom. It's her pet, the Christmas cat. And the Christmas cat goes around on Christmas Day, and he eats all the children who didn't get new clothes on Christmas Eve.
I love that cat.
That totally sucks if you're a poor kid. You know you are terrified. You're like, my dad is a drunk. My mom is a whore. So please someone give me a fucking pair of shoes.
Yeah, it's like, give me some socks. Anything.
Yeah, something. I will take anything.
He's all in the bedroom knitting.
Yeah, seriously. An ascot, just something. It doesn't have to be much.
Yeah. The point of it was to kind of motivate people to knit, gifts for Christmas, because it's something practical.
That's interesting because I went on your Facebook page today and I noticed a lot of knitting on there. So is that... Right. And I have to say, I really, really liked the brain beanie cap.
Yeah, that is...
It's so cool. It's not mine. I just saw it online and I thought...
okay.
Holy shit! I have got to.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But I
if only I knew how to knit. I only know how to cross stitch. I can't knit. But I want to know how to knit. But I've always sucked at it. But everyone in my family does it, so it's okay.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess the older generation, it's a big thing with them.
Not just the older generation, the younger generation.
Really?
Oh yeah, and people make in Iceland. You have like my cousin who's my age. She's part of a sewing club. I mean, mostly for the sewing clubs, they show up, they eat some cake, they gossip, and maybe they knit a little bit. But knitting is very big, especially after the financial crash.
Yeah,
right.
Because our economy completely failed. I mean, we're fine.
Y'all did.
Healthcare. We still got the fat people in the hospitals and all that stuff. So, but regardless, people had less money. Yeah. So they grew their own vegetables, and everyone started knitting again. And it's actually been a really positive development. Yeah, I think, creatively really cool. speaking.
I love the pride that people have because when we were up in the Highlands.
Man, we just loot when shit gets tight here.
When we were in the Highlands, we were at a convenience store, gas station, and we ran into this big burly guy, and he had a sweater on that my wife really, really liked. So she asked him about it, and he's like, yeah, my grandmother makes this. She can make you one if you want to hang around. We're like,
that is awesome.
And she got a pair of mittens.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, the pride people have that they're like, the families, like everybody has these sweaters, and it's been homemade, and it's just like they're very, very prideful of it. It's awesome.
And people have them for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really durable. Mm-hmm. Super durable. Mine's super durable. Mine was,
So we are now the tourist commission for Iceland.
Wow. Yeah.
Inspired by Iceland. We sing the song.
Yeah, I'm really inspired by to go to Iceland. Yeah. That'd be a great trip. I really think I got to put that on the bucket list.
But if you can't make it to Iceland, the next best thing is reading this book.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because you would learn so much, and it's about zombies. It's awesome. So if anybody wants to buy this book, where can they find it?
They can find it on the website www.okei.is. OK.is. You can buy it in paper book or as an ebook. It's going on Amazon. I'm working on it. I'm having some PDF to EPUB conversion difficulties that are totally boring. You don't want to hear about it. So you can get it on the publisher's website. You can also go to Facebook. All the links are there. Same with G+, and my own website, www.Nanna Arnadottir. Yeah, that's a bit hard. .com.
And if you didn't get that, I'll have all the links in the show notes for this show.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yes. Well, I know it's late where you are, so we will let you run. Thank you so much for taking the time out, talking to us, and for sharing your book with us so we could read it. And I will email you later so we can talk if you want to do a contest or whatever. We can do that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much.
It has been a delight.
Have a great night.
Sorry?
I said it has been a delight.
Oh, it it been for me? Oh, see, again, with the compliments, I become flustered and frightened.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it has. It's been a good interview.
I'm so glad.
Right.
I've had a great time. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming
Have
on.
a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yes, you also have a great Saturday night.
Thanks.
Right, bye-bye.
So that was a good interview. That was fun talking.
That was
talking
awesome.
Oh, that was great. That chick's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to her new book coming out.
Yeah, I really like actually the. Whoops.
That's all right.
I really like what she was describing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Ghost
fun.
story.
I think that'd be if she's if we have a copy to give away. I think that would be a fun contest, like the first person to dig out the 10 zombie movie references.
But they would have to have the book to do that, though.
Well, yeah. Oh,
If we're giving it away, though.
that's right.
We'll figure something
I
out.
don't think these things through.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. But
God has always existed.
Yeah, I was like, but the yeah,
They could borrow our copy.
we'll just send it out to everybody. No.
shit.
I just want to write music for the ghost story.
Yeah. But you have to move to Iceland to do that.
That's true.
But speaking of Iceland, that Ridley Scott's filming the Alien prequel
In Iceland.
in Iceland.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember when I was there, I was like, I hope I run into him. But
Right.
Well,
I was looking for RS.
Yeah.
While I was
No,
there.
I had my
He
microphone
texted
in
me.
hand, and I was like, "Where
Right.
is he?"
Really?
I had some questions about a Blade Runner sequence that you shot.
No, but new photos have been released from the set of that film, and a leaked trailer is hit.
I went looking for the leaked
just
trailer.
see it?
I didn't see it.
I saw it.
In fact, from what I understand, it was like leaked footage, like not footage, but it was like film.
It was a handy cam from
Yeah.
a TV screen, and it was really shaky. But what you could see on there was exciting for me. But the CEO of Fox, who's putting out the film, in an interview with MTV, said this about the trailer. He goes, "I heard some of it leaked, which wasn't so good." He said that it's not fair. It's heartbreakingly unfair because the quality of the visuals is spectacular and beautiful. It's shot in 3D. It's the only way you could do it. He said for some early half-baked, half-assed test to leak, it's so unfair. He's like,
But
but I think if
we
you're-
understand that
Yeah.
if it's stolen stuff in the middle, that it's
In fact,
unfinished.
Well, yeah, like when the Piranha 3D trailer got leaked and we watched it, we were like, "This is awesome," but
Can't wait to see it complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when it was the Prometheus footage, I saw it and it was like it described like how shitty it was, and I purposely didn't watch it because I was like, well, this is shitty and it's gonna look like crap, so I don't want to see it.
well, yeah, I did that with what movie did I do that with? There was a movie that was coming out a while back that all this leaked stuff came out. It was Avatar, actually. All this stuff was about Avatar. All the trailers, even the leaked footage and the non-leaked. I only watched one trailer for Avatar because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go in there already seeing the scenes because I knew it was going to be visually insane,
Orgasmic.
and awesome. Yeah. And the same thing with this film. It's supposed to be visually just stunning and just off the hook. But that outweighed my curiosity of what direction and how is it going to look and feel.
Right.
Outweighed my want to preserve that
Sense of awe and wonder.
Well, right, and I wanted to have a chance. Like I don't want to. Like I understand it's supposed to be a 3D movie and there's supposed to be a visual spectacle to it, and so I want to see it that way.
Yeah, this is going to be an IMAX 3D movie for me. We're heading out to the Space Center to watch this one.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
I
plan.
did see the I saw the EW pictures that were in Entertainment Weekly.
They look nice, don't they?
And it does look cool, but it doesn't tell me anything.
No, it doesn't
I'm like,
tell you.
there's a dude in a spacesuit.
Well, the trailer
and then
didn't
there's
tell
like a
you
chick
any-
in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The trailer didn't tell you anything either. It just, I mean, it may have. I was maybe too busy looking at the surroundings. It's like
Oh, yeah.
pretty epic. But
And I'm really curious to how this one is going to turn out because, like I said, I really think it's a big bait and switch on Ridley Scott's part.
well, he's already said that. I mean, not that it's a bait and switch, but he said it's only like what did we say last time that it was the last 15 minutes deals with the aliens.
To me, I don't know, what do you call that when you just kind of tie two stories together in a world? It's almost like what's the movie they're coming out with now where with the comic movies where you see a little bit, you see the hammer of Thor like at the end.
Oh, so but
I know, but I'm not saying it's going to build to something else. I'm saying it's just like, oh look, and there's that. Haha.
I do like that. I do, and I like when things live in that same world. For instance, did you catch two shows that I really love a lot? Right, are AMC's The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. Two of the best shows on television.
I have not watched Breaking Bad at all, but I know what you're talking about.
He means Breaking Dawn.
No, I said Breaking Bad. Just kidding. Yeah, but I love that there was that reference in The Walking Dead where they get into Merle's drug bag and there's blue meth from Breaking Bad.
Right.
That was really cool. Like I love that they're like, I'm like, wow, it's the same world. That's great. And that might be what Ridley Scott winds up doing, but I'm telling you, when he pitched Prometheus, he was like, "Oh, I'm making an Aliens prequel movie." Those people went forward, and it got sold on the premise.
Well, he just cast the line, hook and bait.
An Aliens prequel.
Yeah. What it really doesn't matter. I mean, as you said when we very first talked about that they were doing before we knew anything about it, that before we even knew the title of it, you're like, great, it's a new sci-fi movie and it's going to be in 3D and it's from Ridley Scott, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, it checked all the boxes.
Yeah, so I mean, and if one alien runs by and that's all you see, I'll be happy.
In the background, he's just like foraging, just kind of.
They're like, "What is that in the distance?" Oh, don't worry about it.
It's going to be like that scene from Signs, where it's just like in the cornfield, and then it just runs away, and you're like, "Oh, that was weird." Oh shit, the ship's crashing, and then the end.
Yeah, so I mean, if it does that, I'll still be happy because the world is going to be awesome because it still has the H.R. Giger type feel to it. It still has, that awesomeness about it. So.
I like Ridley Scott, and I'm really anxious to see what he's done.
Yep. Because there's also talk that he wants to revisit Blade Runner.
It'd be funny if he tied them in all together and all of a sudden a mechanical owl comes by and you're like, that was weird. That was the owl from Clash of the Titans.
Bobo.
Or Jason and the Argonauts. I can't remember which one.
It's Clash of the Titans.
Is it Clash of the Titans?
Yeah,
that's right. I just watched it like last month.
Yeah, we had a big argument when we first started doing this show.
Over what?
When Josh was a co-host. Remember when we run around and
so poor Josh. We used to pick on him, but man, it made for some good show. And I really felt relaxed after I came out of doing the show. Well, he had never seen Clash of the Titans, so after we made fun of him for that, he finally saw it. He saw the original first. I mean, I'm sorry, he saw the remake.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, take your opinion and reverse it. So he was okay with I believe, with the remake and the original. He was like, Really? It was kind of crappy.
Wait, you gotta. I mean, again, if I saw the original now, then I would probably.
I don't know though, because like for me, if there are plenty of old bad fantasy sci-fi movies that I never grew up watching, and I'll go and watch them now. And I'll be like, this is awesome.
What was that movie we watched that we did? We didn't have content that we just threw it up.
Oh, God.
The Barbarians. What was it?
The New Barbarians, a.k.a. Warriors of the Wasteland.
Awesome.
Yeah. Public domain. So, yeah.
So, I mean, it's actually one of our episodes. We ran out of content. So
yeah, we still owe 3D Movie Man a t-shirt for sticking around for that.
This is back when we were doing the live show, and we're just like, it was a slow week. We're going to watch this movie. We threw it up.
It was
3D Movie Man, Paul, and I. And
it's tolerable, and then all of a sudden, the main character, this dude, gets kidnapped and ass raped by a cult. And you're just like, what? And then it ends.
It wasn't even like It totally caught us off guard because we're sitting there.
There was nothing leading up.
They had him tied up like this, right? And they had this thing around his neck, and
there was no previous. There was no foreshadowing that this was an anally obsessed cult.
Yeah. The leader walks over, and the guys come over, and they start pulling this rope, and it starts bending the guy over. The leader walks behind him, and we're like, "What the?"
You gotta love those movies that have that total what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That movie had a lot of what the fuck.
Yeah, it was Italian post-apocalyptic butt sex by force. There were some scenes, like everybody's riding dirt bikes in it, and they have blades that cut off heads. And one of the guys looks like the main bad guy from from Superman 2.
Oh, that's right.
You remember? We were like, "Is that him?" We had to go search it, and then they cut to a scene. This is why I had started watching this, and it got to this specific scene, and I stopped it, and I was like, I have to watch this with a friend. So I brought it over. And he was like, I know this movie. He had heard of it. So they show the future car, and they had, it looks like, I don't know, like some kind of nondescript like 70s black sedan car or whatever. Maybe some kind of muscle car, 70s muscle car. But in the roof, they had cut out, they had left the roof, the windshield goes up, it's flat up top. They had cut a hole that was about the width of, about the circumference of the width of the roof, and put a little bubble dome on top. And then on the sides, going like out of the hood and then back into a door somewhere, they had the aluminum tubing that you use to run your dryer.
Yeah.
And that was like all over the car.
Yeah. The art department had like a glue gun, and they went to Taylor's Do It Center.
Yeah, that's exactly
bought some shit.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was fun times. But I don't know how we got on that story, but
I have no idea.
Yours Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah. See, I always derail it, man.
But anyway, so I don't even know how I got there. John Cusack, there's a good segue. Doing a movie.
The Raven.
Yeah, the Raven. He is Edgar. I can't talk.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't. The trailer has been released. It looks really good. I don't think Bob is down with
Once
it.
upon a midnight dreary, why upon weak and weary overload.
I mean, like, I think it's kind of cool. Like, it's like, I'm from around Baltimore. Not a lot of cool movies are set in Baltimore. Yeah. So it's supposed to be like old Baltimore when Edgar Allan Poe lived there, and I like Edgar Allan Poe. I think Poe stories are great, but I don't know.
Well, the storyline is that the stories that he's famous for, of course, have been written and been published. So it's after the fact, and there's somebody out in the world killing people the way that they've been killed in his stories.
Right.
And he's teamed up with I don't know who it is, but the investigators to the crime, and to try to solve the mystery.
Baltimore PD.
Yeah, I guess that.
If it's done well, I could get behind it. And I don't want to. I'm not trying to hate on it too much, but so for instance, because I'm watching the trailer and it's like, John Cusack is Edgar Allan Poe, and he's like fighting and shooting guns and stuff. I'm like, when did Poe become an action star?
Yeah.
But at the same time,
but you can sell the action figure.
I also liked the Guy Ritchie movie Sherlock Holmes, and the very first 5 minutes of that, Robert Downey Jr. is Sherlock Holmes. He is like beating the shit out of everybody, and I was into it, man. I was like, yeah, you get him.
The new one looks great.
I mean, like, when would you have ever pictured like Sherlock Holmes as like a bare knuckle boxer?
Right.
I just don't know that would have ever.
You know what I really liked about that movie is that Jude Law can still kick his ass.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm your assistant. I'm a little more sly.
Yeah.
I'm just,
But you know what? What's sad about this is
that was a good movie.
That we
I
have.
did like that
That's
movie.
a guilty pleasure.
So having said that, if it's done well,
but
I could
Edgar
like
Allan
Raven.
Poe was kind of known for being a drunk, weak guy. You know, it's not like he wasn't a man's man who said things like, "I'm not resting until I've killed that son of a bitch." You know.
Yeah.
But that being said,
what have we done?
I
mean, what have we done? Is our society to that point where the only way that we can get kids interested into the classics is to make them action figures?
I don't think this movie is made to get kids into Poe.
No.
I think this is for people that already love Poe.
I guess you're right, because in the trailer, my favorite thing about the trailer is not.
But even if it's not a great movie,
it's the fact that I can go, oh, that's that story. Oh, that's that story. Oh, that's that story.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean,
I like the idea. You know, I talked to someone else about this movie, and she was upset because she was a big John Cusack fan, and she didn't like him playing Poe. It wasn't his normal thing. Which,
well, he's going to be out in the rain sometime.
Which I thought was great because I like John Cusack, but he's the same fucking guy in every movie.
Yeah.
He's the same guy in High Fidelity that he was in, like, Better Off Dead. It's just always him. It's the same, this is my character. And there are certain actors that always do that. Well, he does it more successful than a lot of people.
Well, I certainly hope, as Edgar Allan Poe, I hope he's playing against type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I would hate for that's that movie where the High Fidelity guy is a author in 1800 Baltimore. I don't know.
Yeah. Jack Black runs in there and goes, "Why are you playing this?"
Skid scat diddly that do that. Yeah, exactly. How are you going to catch the killer? I'm going to go that way, really fast. If something gets my way.
Sure.
Yeah, and then there's some kid asking for $2, and just like, come on, man. Although I did like him in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Well, he was good in Hot Tub Time Machine.
I didn't care for Hot Tub Time.
That was a fun movie.
It's like some kind of Hot Tub Time Machine.
If you want a serious movie, don't watch it.
I wasn't looking for anything serious.
He was also good in Apartment 1408.
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna like that.
I didn't think I was either,
because it wasn't based off of a Stephen King story, and normally that's like the kiss of death for a good movie,
unless it's Christine.
Yeah, I've never.
Or directed by Frank Darabont.
I mean, The Shining's awesome, but you know, there've been plenty of ones that aren't that good. And I was really surprised. I really liked that movie.
Yeah, that was good. So I mean,
I'm looking at you, Silver Bullet.
I would say.
With Corey Haim.
Yeah. That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Really?
Because I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies, and I had a friend that was, and I stayed over, and he was like, I guess we can watch this. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Sleepovers are the best.
Yeah. And then after that, we watched Rawhead Rex, and then I was like...
Rawhead Rex...
I fell asleep during it.
See, I didn't ever have sleepovers because I lived so far out in the country. Yeah, nobody wanted to bring anybody
alone. Yeah.
Well, you were the weird kid.
I was.
I bet you weren't allowed over a lot of houses.
Only 3.
I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking.
Later in my life, that became true.
Like, I'm kidding around. He's like, shut up, it's true.
It's true. Why do you have to bring that up? But yeah.
I hope The Raven is good. I want it to be good, but I ultimately
you say that,
I'm putting
Bob,
my
but
nickel down.
I don't feel that energy emanating from you.
I
feel bad.
Ultimately, I'm going to be disappointed.
It's like, I want it to be good.
But the good thing is,
and you're always on me for being negative, man. What the fuck?
But the good thing is for all the people out there, all the men who their girlfriends or wife hate horror films or horror-related films, they can take them to see this movie because it has John Cusack in it. And every girl...
What are you going to do? What do you want to do? Well, let's go see that new John Cusack movie.
They're like, well, really? What?
That's sly.
Yeah.
And it's about birds or something. I think it's a documentary.
Yeah.
Oh my! I My girlfriend now would have been like, shut up, asshole. It's The Raven. I know which movie I'm going to. Quit trying to fool me into this.
I would like to see you try that with Christine.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd get very far.
I think maybe it's like a spinoff of The English Patient. I'm not sure, but it takes place in Baltimore. It's a prequel to The English Patient.
Awesome.
It's a costume period piece.
There you go.
See, we haven't had a good...
It's a costume period piece with John Cusack in it.
What girl would not want to go see
the
that?
always romantic John Cusack. Dashing as ever.
But see, they'll just walk out of there. Miley would walk out of there and go, he was so
Baltimore's
tough.
poet laureate.
That's hot.
Yeah. He plays a writer. He plays a writer who's struggling with the.
He's a moody writer.
He plays a writer that's
Dark
struggling
and
with the
moody.
repercussions of things that he's put out into the world.
Very nice. Oh, that's very nice.
Dude, you could totally sell that.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, I can't believe I actually came up with that. Give me a call, Nanna. We'll brainstorm on your next.
But what wasn't recorded was a comment. No, just kidding. Anyway, two worlds are coming together, Texas and Scotland, with a movie that I absolutely love, and I barely can find people who like the movie. And
I find that hard to believe. That movie is awesome.
I love that movie. It's Wicker Man is what we're talking about. I love that movie, not the remake. The remake I'll watch just because I love the first one so much.
You're alone on that one, but
that's the one where Nicolas Cage is like punching women.
The bees.
Yeah. No, I mean it's horrible. It's horrible, but I'm just like,
not the
whatever.
Did you ever see on Conan O'Brien? He talks about the new. I guess you can Google it on the new United States terror alert system. He's done it 2 or 3 times, and they just and it's based off of Nicolas Cage movie clips. And like when the shit gets real bad, like number 1, DEFCON 1 is like the Wicker Man, and and it comes over as like a text on your phone or a clip, but it starts off with like what's the vampire one, and it's just him going ape shit for different levels of terror. It's pretty fun.
That's good. But yeah, the remake is not as good, but I like the first one so much it will carry on, and I won't pick the remake over the original, but I'm happy that the original writer of The Wicker Man is doing the Wicker Tree, and he's doing it in a way that he can get away with, because he was censored a lot on the Wicker Man, and he had a lot of pent-up aggression about it because he couldn't do it the way he wanted to.
Well, we watched that trailer. It didn't look like there was a lot of censorship going on in this version.
And now it's going to hit theater January 27th, and I'm very, very excited.
It's not going to play around here.
I don't know. I really hope.
I doubt it. I mean, that would blow my mind if
it does. We're going.
Played the Wicker Tree.
The Wicker Tree looks awesome.
God, I am
Christopher Lee.
I know, man. What the hell? I'm actually looking over, kind of shocked.
Damn it!
You know why this is happening? Because you're sitting where he normally sits.
I'm sitting in the cynical chair.
Yeah,
it's that space right there.
Cynical.
It's gonna have to make you rethink your thoughts about energy.
Yeah, the energy of this spot, the feng shui of this.
Maybe Caesar Milan's onto something.
But no, the trailer was just the official trailer was just released. I've had several trailers on Zombie Popcorn. Apparently, they were not the official. They were international trailers and stuff, but this is the official U.S. trailer.
Cool.
And it looks awesome. I love the feel of it. It still has that same feel of The Wicker Man.
Yep, looks like it was.
Well, it could just be the same movie.
It could be. No, it's.
I mean.
Christopher
Lee, The Hangover 2 had the same feel as the first one, and there's a reason.
But Christopher Lee's returned to the sequel.
So I haven't seen the original Wicker Man. I only saw the Nicolas Cage remake, so I'll have to do my homework next time.
It's on there.
Yeah.
I work at a video store.
Oh, and you have that's true, and it's also there.
We have it. But wasn't the original movie, like you said, it was heavily edited? But we have like this unedited. We have 2 different versions of it. But wasn't it like edited down to air on television or some shit like that?
I don't know about that.
I think so.
I think there was a version of it that was like really, really heavily edited, and it first aired on TV, and it was which probably because of like the heavy edits, it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And,
which I'll edit for TV stuff.
So I guess I should watch the director's version.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie.
It's one of those films
it's really
that you
slow
watch.
and subtle and just kind of.
But it's
got a neat vibe to it.
It has the environment and the atmosphere is really awesome, and there's a lot of like what the fuck?
Yeah, the masks are pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah,
and not in the like, oh my god, creepy, just kind of like,
wow.
It's just a regular lame mask, but it's just like, oh, that's creepy.
If you're into cult things, and stuff like that, and it's awesome because I've always been surrounded by people who believe they are pagan. So, and none of them like the Wickerman. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, there's a big difference between the Wickerman and the, angry 15-year-old girl in the Wicca section in Barnes and Noble.
But they could learn a lot from that film.
Yes, they could.
There's a lot of
there's being right near the 700 Club, man. We could build a big ass Wickerman. Stockpile that thing. Not that I condone that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. And January 27th, hopefully, if it's playing around here, let's mark the calendar, which is, I don't know what day that is.
Which reminds me, I finally came up with the description of my religion the other day. It totally hit me.
So Friday.
If someone was going to ask me what my religion was, talking about this.
Right. What is your religion, Paul?
I would say it's Buddhist who believes heavily in vengeance. I feel that encompasses everything. That breaks a lot of rules, but I mean, it's Buddhism. They're not real rules anyway.
I'm Buddhist with one notable exception.
I believe in violence and vengeance.
But only if it's justified.
By me.
You know what it sounds like you have? The devil inside. You see that transition?
Wow.
That was your best.
You know what I was going to say? I was
ever.
going to say the devil inside, and then you would say the devil inside, and I was going to turn to Bob and say every single one of us.
The devil inside.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil being inside.
Dude, that trailer looks so good.
That movie is
It looks very good.
It's creepy. I watched that trailer, and the scene where the woman was on the bed, I cringed on it.
You're talking about the one that's like all contorted
and then,
and
then you hear
like
the bone pop.
Yeah, that was neat.
I cringed to it, and I was like, as soon as I cringed to it, I fell in love with the trailer. And that was like at the first 5 seconds of it. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I did that with the lip.
Oh, yeah.
And I did one of these. I just kind of leaned back about 6 inches, and I was like, then I came back in.
If a trailer can do that, that's why I love
the trailers.
I have a lot of hope for this film.
Yeah,
I want to have
it looks
a lot
good.
of hope for this
So
film.
is the whole film like that sort of found footage?
It looks like it's
style?
done the Blair Witch / Paranormal Activity style, but it looks like it's done really well. Hopefully,
I after I watched the trailer, I was on the IMDb website, and people were like, "Is this real? Is this true?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" but the trailer does start out with that like, "This is an actual 911 phone call delivered." But
I killed 3 people.
I know, right?
The phone call could be real.
But it's not.
There's no grain of truth in it at all.
No, but I'm saying theoretically, if someone was a fucking nutbag and they called,
theoretically it could. But when they're posting on the IMDb message board that has actors playing parts, and a directed by, and they're asking the question like, "Is this real? Is this true?"
But
come on, man! And they took gullible out of the dictionary too.
Yeah.
Did they really? No, I'm just kidding. But the fact that it deals with exorcisms and demon possessions, we know from our other show, there's a lot of people who believe in that shit.
They do, but it's not this.
There's a lot.
There are. And
Gore.
apparently, exorcism movies are really popular now. It seems like we've had a whole run of them. Yeah. Every couple of months,
do you
get a new exorcism
Do you think
movie.
exorcism movies help the church?
I don't know.
I think so.
Because if people are not,
but I don't think people watch them and then they're like, I got to go to church. I think it just reinforces. I think really it's just people going, that shit's creepy, man. I know that's real,
Maybe.
And it's like the half-ass.
It kind of gives. It just kind of gives that justification. Yes, there's a God.
I did like in the trailer though. It was like they had electrodes on the woman and like it's a blend of religion and science.
As soon as I saw that, I laughed. I was like, "That's where we're going with it."
Yeah. I don't know, man, because they recently the Catholic Church has sort of been in the news recently because they had the one guy who was like the
that's right,
the teacher of
there was the one guy that he recently retired or something. He's been in the news a couple times, and his role was he was the chief exorcist for the Vatican, and he claims to have performed so many thousands of exorcisms.
So does Bob Larson now.
But Bob Larson may make those claims too. But Bob Larson is not backed by the Catholic Church, which arguably is one of the world's largest religions. And that's funny. It's so right. This has the Catholic priests in it, but they're like rogue Catholic priests.
Yeah, they're using science.
They're melding religion and science.
And with science, they're using medical instruments.
Yeah. I think the trailer was great and effective, and I totally want to go see that movie. And I bet I'm scared and on the edge of my seat the whole time. I want to be.
I want, because we haven't had a film like that. I haven't seen a trailer.
I really liked
evoked emotion out of me.
Last Exorcism. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, that was another documentary.
Yeah, that one was. Have you seen that?
Not a bad movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I bought it because it was on sale and a Blockbuster sale. But yeah, I recommend that. If it's good. And then the whole idea for that one is that there's this guy who's kind of started off young in a church that his father ran and was kind of like the almost like magical healer boy, and then became doing these exorcisms all around, really hardcore Southern Baptist style, and then it just became a show for him, and he doesn't believe in it at all. So now he's making a documentary about showing how he does these fake things and people believe it, and then it goes into this weird ass backwoods crazy fucking exorcism. And what was cool about this is they didn't do anything physically impossible in it, except for the scene at the very end where necks spin around. All the contortions are things that this woman could just do.
Yeah, the woman was a contortionist.
And it was completely plausible that there's a scene. Did a demon throw her up on that high chest across the room that you and I couldn't climb up, or was this woman really athletically she really physically able to climb up this thing and sit like a crazy? I mean, she's just creepy looking. It was a really good movie. Yeah. And then there's all the dynamics that play into it, is she being molested by her father or her brother? Is there family abuse? What's real? What's not?
That's one of the things I liked about the movie, is that the things that were presented as supernatural, like her, that picture that you always see of her bent over backwards.
Yeah.
That's creepy and weird looking, but there's a level of plausibility to it. Because apparently the actress that was in that role really could do those things. That wasn't some kind of digital effect. And the whole movie is like that.
And
it's just like the scene in the trailer of The Devil Inside with her arm back. Contortionists can do that.
It stretches plausibility.
But what makes it jump that level is the sound effects the sound guy put in there, where you just go, oh.
Yeah, in fact, when I saw that scene in the trailer, I was like, is that a person really doing that? Yeah. Or is that is that an effect? And the fact that I'm even asking that question, now they've got me.
Yeah. I liked about the Last Exorcism, I really like the soundtrack. I'm sure most people don't pay that much attention to it, but it's like a bass guitar it's really minimal. I think when I watched it, I came over and we talked about it, but it's kind of everything slightly it's not like a lush soundtrack. It's really minimal and basic, and it really adds to the creepiness of this desolate country house. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, because there's very few films that can do that with music. Like Halloween wouldn't be Halloween without that soundtrack.
Yeah. So your homework is, I want you to we're gonna pick a horror movie and you have to score it, but you can only use 3 keys on a piano.
Yeah.
You can use those 3 keys.
We've done that.
Dude, but the whole movie, that's all you get, 3 keys.
3 keys. I'd need more than 3 keys. I could do 3 instruments. That would be really minimal, because
how minimal can we get?
Yeah. I'm getting ready for the show that I'm going to play, and
where's that going to be again?
Well, we'll talk about that. But the first piece is made up of 63 tracks.
Oh wow!
So it's like, yeah. So like 3 is like way minimal for me. You can't get, yeah.
It's good. So yeah, we'll keep posted about The Devil Inside. They're doing a Munsters remake.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of excited about it, but new information.
Munsters.
What did I say?
I'm just.
I thought you were correcting me. When I first heard about this, I was kind of excited about it because they were going to do a modern take on it.
Right.
More information came out about it.
It'll probably just be like one of those That's So Raven.
Disney. They had a. It's a
laugh and applause track in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they say? It was like
It's a modern take, but instead of the strange hybrid of the popular comedy, it's gonna be kind of a strange hybrid of the Modern Family and HBO's True Blood.
That's right. Modern Family meets True Blood.
And it says the series will be
that actually sounds
will be dark,
cool.
And there will be a lot of heart and comedic elements. The pilot episode will be based on 10-year-old Eddie Munster, who is unaware that he's a werewolf, and that his family is composed of terrifying creatures. The madness begins when a baby bear attacks the scouting troop, only to turn out this bear is actually Eddie transformed into the werewolf. Eddie is unaware of his metamorphosis, and it forces the family to move in order to protect the family secret. The coming-of-age story gets weirder as he fights against his family when he learns of the shocker that they're a family of flesh eaters. Other random character notes: Lily Munster has an eating disorder and eats suicide victims. Grandpa Munster is a 600-year-old shapeshifter, and Marilyn Munster was adopted when her mother tried to eat her as a baby.
Yeah, see, I don't know. That's gone too far from the Munsters to me.
Yeah, that's
just call it something else.
Well, see, it looks like what they did. It was like they took the element of the first one of what they did. The Munsters had no idea why everybody around them was afraid of them.
Right.
And what this story did is they took that part of it and said, we know why the people are afraid of them, and this is why.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, that was kind of the charm of the Munsters, though, is that they kind of didn't know that they were different.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the joke that nobody...
And they're driving in their car.
Same thing with the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the Addams Family was a little more solid. Like, I think the Addams Family knew that they were different. They just didn't care. Whereas the Munsters didn't know that... They had no idea,
right?
And
they thought they were like Lily, and
right, yeah, Marilyn was the normal one.
Yeah, Marilyn. Sorry,
Pat
I
Priest.
got it backwards. Yeah,
I only know that because I used to work at the Norfolk Botanical Gardens, and she was the first recipient of the
Azalea Queen.
The Azalea Queen when she was coronated at the NATO garden we have over there.
See, you learned something on the
That's
show.
right.
Every time we mention the Munsters.
Yeah.
150 acres, started in 1929 under the Work Progress Administration Act with Frank W. Hewitt. And
good job.
Yeah.
So you were saying?
Yeah, So all right, so it's like an Elvis and Beatles question. Which one did you like better, Addams Family or the Munsters?
Addams Family.
Yeah, me too. I always liked the Addams Family.
However,
now, did you like the Addams Family movie? The movie with
yes.
Angelica Houston?
Yes, I love those.
I thought the first movie was so good because it really.
The other ones go down a bit.
Oh, the second one was horrible.
Yeah, isn't that horrible?
As soon as you get MC Hammer doing a song.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's not gonna change the movie. The camp scenes in the second one.
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah, I mean that alone, I'll watch the movie just for that. The first one is great.
It was Raul Julia.
Said,
it was Gomez. And,
yeah, he was so good. It's a shame they didn't make a third. With him, the Munsters had the way cooler theme though.
Yeah. And the cooler car.
What was it? How did the theme for the Munsters go?
It was like a da 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 ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba.
And that was better than the Addams Family? Because that's iconic. That
I know. It is. I'm just saying it was more of a like, coming on. I mean, that is definitely, more successful, but I like the Munsters theme better.
Ah, man.
It's more like all over the place and
I'd say I would like
pizzazzy.
I don't know. I think I watched them both equally, but I don't think I had a favorite. But if I had to pick...
Bullshit.
Really?
It's Elvis and Beatles, man. You can like them both.
I fucking hate Elvis and I fucking hate the Beatles.
You have to pick one. You like the... You like one. You always like one a little bit better.
No, I hate them both.
Actually, with Elvis...
all right, so then it's Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton. You get my point. You can like them both, but you'll always like one a little bit more. This is going
back to the Star Wars, Star Trek thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, and I started watching Fanboys that came on Comedy Central. I only saw the first hour, though, because it was like at 1 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, though.
It was funny. It was a good movie.
So
I don't know, man. I
Addams Family for me.
I thought the Addams Family movie totally worked in the spirit of the Addams Family.
It was great.
But this iteration of the Munsters, I don't know. I mean, who knows? It's wild speculation.
Yeah.
This is like 3 thumbs down in a row from him tonight.
It really has been.
Yeah, we're all like,
I want it to be good.
This is cool. I can't wait to check it out. Oh no!
I want it to be good, and I think the new angle, I'm willing to accept it, just on the fact that horror icons, Munsters, is actually taking over childhood culture. I mean, one of the most popular cartoons is Monster High. Kids are growing up relating to vampires and Frankenstein and in a different way that we did, and it's just going to keep this genre
because
growing.
When I grew up there wasn't really much of that around.
You know what's really
there was
sad?
In the 60s there was the whole Monster Kid, Famous Monsters of Filmland and all those.
We had Fangoria, that's all we had.
Okay.
See, but I wasn't allowed to.
And how many of us have read Bram Stoker's Dracula or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Yeah.
We've all read them?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah,
but these kids you're talking about, they're growing up with.
But it's a different generation, though.
That doesn't make the book any less good.
I did not read those growing up, though.
Yeah, that's true. I read them later in life. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I didn't read them as recommended reading at school or anything. I read them later in life.
Yeah, I read them when I was and
I'm glad I read them later in life.
Yeah, I read them in my 20s. I did too.
I'm glad
because I read
them.
Why haven't I read this?
Yeah. And you appreciate it.
And it was weird. Every year in school, there was always the required reading, except for one teacher that didn't have it. I had that one teacher every year. I never had required reading. What everybody else in the school did. So, when I was in my 20s, I was like, I should read 1984. Everyone else had to read it. So I read Animal Farm in 1984. 1984, which fucked me up for 2 weeks straight. I was just because I'm reading it. I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my god, this is good. Oh, he's gonna turn it around.
No, he's not.
Boy, these pages under my right thumb are kind of thin. All right, there's 2 chapters left. There's 1 chapter left. I don't think this shit's gonna work out. Yeah. And then towards the end, I was just like, oh.
Would you like a double plus good beer?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Oh, right. Took me a minute. Let me tell you, I was going, as soon as I read that book, there was the Versificator, which was the machine that wrote songs. I was like, that's the name of the motherfucking band. Apparently 70 other dudes had that idea. Yeah. This is, when MySpace was the new thing, and it was Versificator 1, Versificator 8, Versificator, I was like, oh, well.
Not happening.
I like the idea of, and speaking of 1984, I like the idea of Newspeak.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And how diabolical is that the thought behind that is if you limit their vocabulary, you limit their capacity for thought.
Yeah.
That's why I love vocabulary.
That's funny because I made the reference to it in Non-Religious Life and nobody caught up to that.
Which reference?
It was 2 episodes back. But
what did you say?
About Newspeak. I forget now.
Yeah. Well, there's Double Talk and there's Newspeak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double Talk
there's a scene in that book where the main character's talking to one of the guys that works in like the Ministry of Language. Yeah. And he's proud. He's saying, we have the only language. Our language is getting smaller each year.
Yeah. This year we eliminated 5,000 new words.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I like that. And in fact,
you like that.
No, I mean I don't like that idea, but I think it's fun to think about. And because of that, like. It's because of 1984 that I love vocabulary. Like when someone has a new word I've never heard before, I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome! Like I love hearing new words for things. Like, and I don't mean just like flipping through the bird field guide to the Americas and just reading all the Latin names of the birds. Yeah. I mean like a real word that provides specificity and depth of knowledge to something. I love vocabulary because of 1984.
Awesome.
Double plus good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, on a lighter note, which brings a tear to my eye, in Orlando, Florida, Universal Studios, in January, they are closing down the Jaws ride.
Forever.
Replacing it with a new ride.
Do they say what
Jaws
the new one is?
3 ride.
It'll probably be something
in 3D.
Yeah, like I bet they're closing it down for a really good reason, and they're going to put something in there that's going to be awesome.
Thanks, Bob. It's good to see you.
because there's a part of it was like, it's going to be shitty.
Maybe it'll be like a
they're
piranha
closing it
ride.
down to do something stupid. That's really what I'm thinking.
They're gonna probably put Harry.
My work here is done.
Thank you for stopping by.
Affected me.
But yeah, so that's sad because
that is kind of sad. That's the end of it. Did you see the documentary about Bruce the Shark?
Yep.
That was a cool documentary.
We went Miley and I went on a hunt. We drove around. We went places to find Bruce because there's rumors that Bruce is on
like on
Ocean
a sign
City.
or something.
No, he's in Ocean City in a junkyard type thing.
Yeah,
and we
I've seen
that. Hunted and looked and ended up playing golf.
Well, the point of the documentary was they found it, right? They found the animatronic shark and sort of like repaired it and brought it back and
sold it to the highest bidder.
Sold it to the highest bidder on eBay. And Bruce the Shark, it was great. I like, I don't know. Bruce the Shark. That's like such an iconic image.
Yeah. And I've never been
a
fan of Jaws. Like I've never liked it.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
the negative came back.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's not. I understand why people like it. It's just never done it for me. And I've also never been on the ride. So, I've only ever been to Disney World in Orlando. I've never been to any of the other places because my parents were like, "This is where we're going. Don't even fucking look over there. I'm paying enough for this." So yeah. I don't have any like memories of it. It's not like if they said we're taking down the Haunted Mansion, I'd be fucking heading over to Disney World with a picket sign and But yeah, I don't know.
I love Jaws, man. I love that movie. I really do. Yeah.
The third installment's my favorite.
Just because it's 3D, Jesus Christ, and it's shitty 3D.
It is shitty. No, it was really good 3D at the theater. At the theater, in its original format, it is decent 3D. The story, the animatronics, and everything else sucks.
It's so bad. I just remember seeing that 3D scene with like the shark swimming away, and it was like they had like a little wind up electronic shark on a stick, and they're like moving in front of the camera, and its tail's like. It was really bad.
I tried to watch.
That's one of my iconic moments of bad movie production.
I love
I tried to watch Jaws not that long ago. It was on TV, and I'm like, this is just too fucking boring.
Yeah.
And I mean, I own the collector's edition of like THX 1138.
Yeah.
So I can rock.
I know boring.
Yeah, I can rock some fucking boring. But yeah, me and Jaws don't seem to match. I will say, it's one of the greatest goddamn theme songs ever written.
Yeah.
2 notes that you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
No, it is. I don't know. For me, Jaws works on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you grew up. I grew up in Bel Air, Maryland, and I spent summers in Ocean City, Maryland, and Wilmington, North Carolina, both of which are summer beach towns.
Yeah.
And so that idea of the 4th of July, summer on the beach, that was every summer of my life.
We're not closing down the beach.
And and this was, it's a small Amity, New England town, and the 4th of July weekend on the beach is huge. I mean, I spent every 4th of July on the beach when I was a kid. That's just what you did.
Wow.
And
no, I grew up here near the ocean, but
you didn't go to the beach, boy.
not on 4th of July.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't going anywhere near the beach on 4th of July.
That's welcome to my family on 4th of July. They were like, do you know what the parking is going to be like that?
Oh man, no, that's just and one of the things I liked about Jaws is that that summer, that like I lived those summers. That's what we did. That was that was my life. And I remember swimming out in the ocean and like going, man, if a shark showed up, that would really suck.
Like the one in North Carolina.
Well, the thing is, they're probably not there. They are there. Yeah. It's just
you haven't run into them.
You haven't. Yeah, they haven't taken a bite out of you. And do you remember years ago when we were all living here, probably when they had the Summer of the Shark?
Oh yeah, man!
What?
Fucking everybody was getting
Summer of
chomped.
There
was a period
down in the
here,
Outer Banks. And
they call it a Summer of the Shark.
I don't know anything.
But that year, statistically, there were fewer shark attacks that year than previous years.
Right, but they were just all here.
It was a slow news cycle.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot to write about, so they wrote about shark attacks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it was all in the news. It was a big hysteria thing.
What's fucked up is when they do it in other countries and like all of a sudden they're slaughtered sharks.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And they're like little tiger sharks, that are babies and like couldn't obviously eat a person, but people go nuts.
Yeah. And that's another thing I kind of like about Jaws is like, okay, fine, they blew the shark up at the end. I understand that.
But he comes back.
But it also like you had like this respect for this massive, almost majestic animal. I mean, it was just so impressive, like how perfect sharks are, and they make the point of that in Jaws. It's just how perfect they are,
how evolved they are to their task, and
and like evolutionary speaking, they are unchanged for millions of years. They are perfectly evolved for what they do.
That's why I love crocodiles.
Yeah, yeah, right. Again,
dude, when there's a crocodile nature show on, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Now watching Jaws and growing up on the beaches and stuff, you just have that respect for sharks. Like it's like one of those things like you're like, oh my god, sharks are so fucking badass. Hey, there's one over there. I'm out.
Yeah. I have a story like that. I was in South Padre Island. It's where our family went because I grew up in Texas. This is where we went for like a vacation. They had a condo on the beach, and I was out in the water. You know how in the ocean you can go way out there and you're not really that deep. Well, I was out there all by myself, just having fun. This fin comes up in the water from the like distance between me and you, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So I'm hauling ass. You know how hard it is to get in, swim in the ocean and try to fight it. I get back on the beach. I'm like, and I turn around and I see these people pointing and laughing at me. I'm like, motherfucker, there's a shark out there. And then I turn around and there's like the porpoise is jumping. Yeah. So I go to my mom and she laughs at me. I was like, no, fuck this, come with me. And so we go out there and we go all the way out there and she's like, what? And I was like, I don't know, I guess they're gone. And as soon as I said that, Finn comes up between me and her and she's like, ah!
Yeah. When we used to go surfing, you'd see porpoises a lot of times and so here's the thing, right? Porpoises cut the water up and down, and sharks cut the water side to side.
In a zigzag. Yeah.
But it is unsettling when you're sitting on your board, because I was sitting, we were out like surfing one day and we're sitting on our boards and we're like watching, waiting for the waves to come in, and my buddy's like, hey, look, dolphins, and I'm like looking on the horizon, you know, I'm like, oh, where, and the goddamn fin cuts like right next to me, and I was like, holy shit.
It does throw you for a loop.
But you know, like just the idea that there's that whole stuff underneath you that you can't really see.
That is bigger.
And, right, it's bigger than you and more at home than you.
Yes.
Like you're visiting. It's their neck of the woods.
It is pretty awesome. But it is sad that Orlando's closing that exhibit. But I guess, you know, that's what happens. Kids don't know about Jaws. It's time to move on. But
great movie, though.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So, speaking of a movie, you wanted to talk about this movie for a while, and we just never gotten to it. You want to set it up?
Oh, it's just the new Joss Whedon movie, Cabin in the Woods. And he didn't direct it. He's working with another guy. He wrote it. But they just released the one sheet for it, and it's like a cabin. You should put it up
in
on
the woods.
site. It's a cabin in the woods. No, it's just a cabin, but it's in the sky, and the cabin is like a Rubik's cube, and so this is supposed to be a genre bending.
But isn't this a remake? Isn't there already a movie? Isn't there already this is like a remake of
Howl's Moving Castle? I mean,
but there's already a Cabin in the Woods movie. There's several.
It's not a remake, and I was reading on Ain't It Cool News. They were trying to like get some scoop about what this movie was about, and they got the synopsis from Lionsgate, and it was like 5 friends go to a cabin in the woods, things go wrong. That was the synopsis that Lionsgate sent out. So
it's Evil Dead.
So one, it's like Joss Whedon. It's got this provocative one sheet for it. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, what's it about? What's it about?" So I don't know. It's just
I mean, with that description, it could be either Evil Dead or it could be Vacation with with Kate Winslet and you know.
But it's Joss Whedon, right? And he didn't direct it, but he co-writes it with another guy. And one of the things that I love about Joss Whedon is if there's characters you like in his movies, don't get too attached to them because they're probably going to die. Like, he loves to kill main characters. And Buffy
died like 5 times.
Right. Yeah. But he does that. It's just, I don't know. That's kind of the writer he is. And so, you know, it's another movie that he's involved with. And I'm just a nerd for Joss.
Yeah. Well, awesome. We'll keep posted on that when we find out more information. But on that note,
we're running out of time.
We are running out of time.
We're going to need a bigger show. If we hadn't gone into that, I would have broke that out earlier. Yeah. But
that's good. That's good.
That was fucking awful. What are you talking about?
But it's a reference.
While you work on your segues, I'm going to work on my puns.
And this show will be better for it.
Yeah.
Bob just shakes his head. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in.
Negative Bob.
Negative Bob. Neggy.
Don't be such a negative Nancy.
I'm going to try not to. I'm going to have an attitude adjustment.
We got the stick. We go.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Definitely everybody should go pick up Iceland Zombie Iceland. Zombie Iceland. I don't know why I want to say it back.
There are Icelandic zombies.
Yeah.
But the book is Zombie Iceland.
Zombie Iceland. It's a definitely fun read. Yeah. Everybody pick it up and keep your eyes posted on Zombie Popcorn because apparently we're going to have a contest soon. So
yay for us.
Yay. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.